The first Overwatch 2 patch notes have been dropped, and we are going to go through them together. So basically, the general bug fixes that have happened is that they fixed the kill feed. When someone jumps off the map and dies, they fix it so it would show correctly now. They fixed the bug where health packs would sometimes be missing timers. They fixed the bug where Reaper would sometimes be auto-selected on the hero select. I didn't know that. They also fixed the bug where the control progress bar would sometimes be the wrong color. They made several adjustments to sound, volume, and mix, and they fixed also several crashes. So, the first heroes that they've changed is Wrecking Ball. I'm guessing it's going to be more as we go down, but the general changes to the heroes. Wrecking Ball, they fixed the bug where Wrecking Ball could crash other players. Wait, what? Wrecking Ball was able to crash other players? That was a buff Wrecking Ball had and we didn't even know. They fixed Doomfist. They fixed the bug where melee attacks would not deal damage during a power block. Roadhog fixed the bug where Roadhog's hook cooldown would start on return instead of cast. Soldier 76, they fixed the bug where Soldier's heavy pulse rifle might snap awkwardly during tactical visor. That's actually really, I experienced that. I'm glad they did that. They fixed the bug when Soldier 76 would have a slanted UI when wearing his ugly sweater skin. I never even knew that either. It's pretty funny. Symmetra fixed the bug where shooting Symmetra's turrets into the horizon would cause the turrets to be unusable. Hanzo fixed the bug where Hanzo's white wolf skin would appear invisible. We did have a video on that. It was hilarious if you guys want to check that out. Brig, they fixed the bug where Brig's shield did not block damage from above. Ana, they fixed the bug where using nano boost on Doomfist would overwrite his damage reduction. And Lucio, they fixed the bug where Sonic Amplifier could jam and not load. What? And some maps, Midtown adjusted some geometry on top of the train to prevent players from staying there indefinitely. And Colosseo adjusted some geometry that could be abused by players. It's basically the only map changes. I'm surprised. Okay, but going into the real changes that they've made to heroes. So apparently, Sojourn, her railgun alt fire, which is a right click, projectile width increased from 0.5 to 0.01 meters. So they actually doubled the size. That's crazy. So it's probably going to be a little easier to hit now. Wow. Power slide and cooldown reduced from 7 to 6 seconds. Wow, they're actually kind of buffing her. And the dev comments were, we saw a lot of players at varying skills struggling to land shots with her alt fire, so we're making the projectile width wider. Sojourn is all about mobility, and we wanted her to move around the maps more freely. We think this will help increase her effectiveness and make her even more fun to play. That's actually really, really interesting. I did think Sojourn was a great character when she was first released, but I didn't think she was all that busted and whatnot. But let's see what this does. Soldier 76. Soldier 76 heavy pulse rifle damage reduced from 20 to 18. So they're nerfing our boy Soldier 76. His sprint movement has been reduced from 50 to 40%. But on top of this, like, you know, all DPS players have 10% mobility as well. So it technically is still 50% down from 60. And Tactical Visor now allows for critical hits if a shot would have been a critical hit without it running. That's interesting. And also no longer removes damage fall off from his heavy pulse rifle. What? Oh, that for his visor. Okay, that makes a little sense. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So it's consistent damage. And what the devs said about this is that we believe Soldier 76 was overtuned during the first week of the PvP beta. He was extremely mobile with the new damage passive that increases his movement speed by 10%, and we brought his sprint ability down a bit with his new passive in mind. So yeah, like we were saying, that makes a little sense. Soldier 76 has always been a high damage output hero, but we are seeing a fewer counters to him with one less tank per team. We lowered the damage of his pulse rifle to fit with 5v5. We also wanted to make Tactical Visor a more interesting ultimate for players who want to push their aim skill through the ability. The point of this change isn't purely to buff him or counterbalance the nerfs. We wanted to make Soldier 76 more fun to play while rewarding mechanical skill. And that's pretty interesting. I like that. What I really do like as well is that it's only been 1 week of the beta, and they're also putting out patches. This is huge. I'm actually really enjoying their communication and the frequent updates, I guess you could say. Okay, Sombra's stealth movement speed reduced from 65 to 50%. Wow, okay. And they said after a week of testing the new damage passive, we decided to balance Sombra's stealth speed with the 10% movement speed increase in mind. Okay, so same thing with Soldier basically. So now we get to tank. I'm guessing that's all for damage. Now we're on tank. Roadhog's Whole Hog. This ability has been changed from a channeled ultimate like Fair, Reaper, and Cassidy into a transform in ultimate like Soldier 76, Genji, and Winston. This is what it means. The weapon no longer automatically fires, and you must press primary fire to use the ultimate. What? You can also use normal abilities during Whole Hog without canceling the ultimate, and stuns will no longer cancel the ultimate. Wait a minute, they're buffing Roadhog? So you're gonna be able to hook people, pull them in while you're ulting, and shred them or push them off the map. That is insane. And even if you get stunned, you can still use your ult. That is insane. And the devs said, we saw Roadhog underperforming, so we were able to make his ultimate more interesting, effective, and fun. Roadhog was dying frequently while using Whole Hog, so we're trying to give him more options and flexibility in his ult. Next up is Winston Tesla Cannon. The secondary fire ammo costs reduced from 20 to 12, so you take less ammo when you right click. That's pretty interesting. The dev comment to that was, this change to Winston's secondary fire enables him to use it more often without sacrificing as much of his primary fire. We want his secondary fire to feel less restrictive to use and more fluid to his kit, which I think is a good change. Okay, Wrecking Ball. His roll knockback increased by 36%. That's the only change to Wrecking Ball apparently, and they said we are revetting rolls knockback to their original value from when Wrecking Ball was launched. We wanted to give Wrecking Ball a more unique role as a dive tank that could be split up by enemy teams. We made this change with the tank passive of 30% knockback resistance in line. Okay, that's a little bit interesting. So they gave him a little bit more knockback on top of what they already gave tanks in general from the last one that we read, the last patch notes. Okay, this is a little interesting. Zarya's Graviton Surge, they reduced the duration from 4 to 3.5 seconds. I hope that's not going to be bad, because remember when Reinhardt's Hammer Down was changed from like 3 seconds to like 2 seconds or whatever they did? That was terrible for Reinhardt. When they used to shatter, you weren't shattered. You like tripped and got back up right away and nothing died. So I hope it doesn't change Zarya too much. They said there are less counters to Graviton Surge with 1 less tank per team, and phase effects no longer escaping Zarya's ultimate. Makes sense. You can't fade out of it anymore. We observed the ultimate overperforming, so this change brings it in line with 5v5 gameplay. Interesting. And now, last but not least, a lot of support changes apparently. Let's see this. Lucio's crossfade self-healing penalty increased from 30 to 60%? What? Holy. Lucio had incredible survivability with crossfade stacked with the new support role passive, so we reduced the amount it heals himself. Okay. Baptiste Biotic Launcher healing ammo increased from 10 to 13, so he can heal a little bit more. They said Baptiste is underperforming because teams aren't playing as grouped up right now. Increasing his healing ammo will let him heal more targets who aren't necessarily grouped up. Okay, makes sense. Probably will change when everyone feels a little bit more comfortable with 5v5 and more strats and more grouping up and whatnot. I feel like right now, since it is quick play, it's like a team deathmatch, so we'll see about that. Ana's Bionic Rifle ammo increased from 12 to 15. Interesting. And Bionic Nade duration reduced from 4 to 3 seconds. And the dev comment is, Ana's Bionic Grenade was too effective with 1 less tank and more infrequent barriers, so we are reducing the duration of the ability. Wow. We also saw Ana using her grenades less frequently on herself because of the new support passive ability. That's true. That was confusing me a lot. I wasn't using my nades so much when I was playing Ana on myself, because you do get healed 15 health per second after 1 second of that being damaged. So they also said to help compensate for her grenade, we wanted to give her power back through increasing her biotic rifle's ammo. Oh wow, Zenyatta got some changes. Zenyatta's base shields increased from 150 to 175. Wait a minute, so did they give him more health? It's still probably 200, but instead of 150 shields and 150 health, it's probably going to be 175 shields and 25 health. Okay. New passive added, Snap Kick. This passive increases quick melee damage by 50% and significantly increases its knockback, so it gives him a little bit more survivability. That's a little bit interesting. Let's see what the devs said. Zenyatta has trouble fighting at close range, so he was at a disadvantage if an enemy flanked or jumped on top of him. His new passive Snap Kick will help him create space and put enemies at a fighting range. We think this new passive will be a fun adjustment to his kit, but we also want this change to acknowledge community concerns. We understand that 5v5 has made support heroes feel more vulnerable, and we wanted to give Zenyatta tools to help create space between him and enemies. That's actually kind of interesting. If a Tracer gets close to you or a Genji, you're going to be able to kick him and do more damage and knock them back a little bit. I wonder how far the knockback is, though. That's actually pretty interesting. In Shield Bash, to the last but not least, Brig Shield Bash, knockback doubled. It's difficult to tell when Brig lands a Shield Bash because the impact of that ability was not easily noticeable. This is a subtle change that will make the ability feel more satisfying. That's actually interesting. It's actually interesting. I'm actually really glad that it's only been a week into the Overwatch 2 beta as well for them to come out with all these changes and whatnot, which is something we haven't seen in Overwatch 1 in a very, very long time. I think it's been like 2 years that we actually seen some changes or communication about anything. So I like where Blizzard's head is going, where their mindset is. I like it. The frequent updates, the frequent communication that they've been doing. I love it. Hopefully they continue it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about these changes. Let me know the good ones. Let me know the bad ones. It's actually pretty interesting. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the first look on the first patch notes of this Overwatch 2 beta. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Hope you guys have a great one.